Hello, hello, hello. And we are live, popping in for a video on how I practice drawing caricatures. Welcome to a Thursday morning live stream. Just wanted to pop in, say hi. Let's get you a little closer to the action here. My name's Cartoon Mark. I draw caricatures, and yeah, I'm just going to give you some tips that I learned from Tom Richmond, and I kind of refined them on my own as well. So, I wanted to draw Large Marge from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. So here she is. This is just a quick study. I may do an actual, more rendered drawing or even a painting of her changing into that crazy look she does from the truck. So anyway, how did we get here? How did we get to this? Hey, thanks for the thumbs up. So this was how I warm up. This is how I start. This is a thumbnail sketch right here. This is my lines I do when I warm up. I just do some quick squiggly lines just to get the muscle going, the muscle memory going, and the blood flowing. And it's almost just like athletes warming up. So in Large Marge's face, I saw a rectangle shape, and I also saw it's wider at the top, and it kind of tapers down. And she has small eyes right here. Her nose is a prominent feature, and her mouth does a crooked little grin. And then this is what I came up with. And I think that's a good likeness of Large Marge. Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent you. Okay, let's get to the next one. These are just some practice drawings I did. So how do I get to this? Well, here's how I do it. Like I said, with Tom Richmond, you want to get Tom Richmond's book, The Mad Art of Caricatures. You also want to attend a lecture. Travel to it, take a plane to it like I did. I went from New York to Florida back in February, a couple of years back, and it was great. And I realized how much more I had to learn about caricatures. So this girl's face was obviously, like I call it the Dorito face. Looks like an upside down Dorito, where it's an upside down triangle. And you want to pay attention to angles of the eyes. See how her eyes are tilted like that? Her eyes were definitely tilted. She had a longer nose, which also brings the eyes closer together. And her mouth, her smile was a prominent feature. So I would do this live in my head and then just go right at it with the marker, with the Crayola. Sometimes, if I have time, I will do a pre-sketch, a pencil pre-sketch of not even 10 seconds of something like this. This guy had a thick neck, all right? He had more of a squared off face, but you also want to look, where is the widest part of the face, right? It was here in his jawline, the top of his jaw, actually, like right there. That's the widest part. Where is there more mass? Above the eye line or below the eye line, right? And this was obviously below the eye line. And he had a triangle-shaped nose there. And this is like, you need a good foundation to have a good drawing, right? You need a skeleton, like a foundation. Like how do people build a house? Well, they start with a foundation. And that's kind of what I do. There's the drawing here. Okay, next. Okay, kids. This is a kiddo. This is not a kiddo. Kids have somewhat similar head shapes because their skulls aren't developed yet, right? So the eyes are generally lower on the head. See this? The noses are small and the mouths are small, right? And the ears are lower too. The ears would be like that. This girl had a wide jaw, really wide, grinny type smile, and her mouth was her prominent feature. I originally drew her nose bigger, and then I drew her nose even smaller here in this shape here, right here. See if I can black this out for you. That's the T shape. Okay, Tom Richmond talks about the letter T, and here's the T on her. I originally went down here and I said, no, I want to shrink that nose to make the mouth look even more prominent, right? That's a trick that the technique Tom Richmond and a lot of other artists talk about. There's a finished drawing here, some reference photos I find online, and this guy had a square face. You want to boil it down to simple shapes. Squared off head, and then you refine. His jaw did come down, and he has a flat chin. This girl had some wide cheekbones and wide jaws, but then I decided to exaggerate the wideness here, here, and here. What did I do? I actually shrunk down the head even more. I originally had it up here, the top of the head here, but if you shrink it down even more, it's going to make this look even bigger. These are the things I'm learning and I'm pushing. And then this was a kiddo here. I have the most trouble drawing babies. This is not a baby, this is a toddler. And again, small chin, bigger eyes, small nose and mouth, and larger. There's always more mass above the eye line for toddlers. There's always more mass above the eye line for toddlers. Now these two girls had rectangular shaped heads, right? She had wide cheeky cheeks and a pointy chin and a bulbous nose, so I shrunk the eyes. This girl had more mass to her face, right? So, but she did have that rectangle shape, but this is how I found her. And that's the tips of the day for drawing caricature. Hope you found it useful, and go get Tom Richmond's book, The Mad Art of Caricature. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.